Now we're going to go over how to set up voice calling or video calling for your Google Assistant speakers that you have throughout the house. This is just nice and convenient because especially if you have voice match set up, you can go and just use your Google Assistant speaker, your Nest Hub, whatever it is, as a giant speakerphone when making phone calls. So you're going to first go ahead and open the Google Home app and go ahead and click on the user in the top right. And from here, you're going to jump into Assistant Settings. Once you're in Assistant Settings, you're going to go ahead and click on the third tab that says Services. Once here, you're going to select Voice and Video Calls. Once you go ahead and do this, you see you have two options here. You have mobile calling and video and voice apps. We're first going to go ahead and do mobile calling. So let's go ahead and tap on this, and you can see you get a few different options here. If you have a Google Voice account, which I do, which is why that number is popping up there, you can go ahead and select the Google Voice. Or if you have a Google Fi, if you're on the Google Fi plan, you can go ahead and link your account with your number right then and there. But say you don't, you're kind of the average person, has a normal carrier with a phone number, you're going to go ahead to this option here that says your own phone number. Now you can see by default here it is unlisted, so you can make phone calls if you want to from your Google Home device or Nest Home device, but it will show up on the other end as unlisted. And I don't know about you, but most people these days, if an unlisted number pops up on my phone, I'm probably not going to answer it. So we're going to go ahead and edit this to add our real phone number. That way, when I make phone calls with my Google Home, it will show up as my number on the person for the person I'm calling. It'll also show up if they have my contact saved in their phone. It'll show up as my contact information, just like you're making a normal phone call. So we'll go ahead and click Edit, and we're going to click Add or Change Phone Number here. And we're going to go ahead and type in our number. We'll click Add. And it's going to send us and text us a verification code just to confirm that it is our phone number that we're adding. So I'm going to go ahead and type in that code. And then click Verify. And there we go. Now you can see once I've clicked Verified that I've got my own number here and it's set up. So when I go and ask it to make phone calls, it will show up as my contact information on the person's phone who I'm calling. It does have access to my contacts and things like that, so I can just say call mom or whoever and it will call them. You don't have to say their number or anything like that as long as you have it saved in your contacts. Again, you want to make sure you go ahead and set this up so it doesn't show up as unlisted. And another thing to point out, which it will tell you when you make your first phone call using a Nest Home speaker, you can't use it to make emergency calls like calling 911 or stuff like that. So do keep that in mind. Another thing to keep in mind is as of right now, you can only make calls this way. You can't receive phone calls on your Nest Home device this specific way. So just keep that in mind. You can only make them, and you can't like hand off if you're in the middle of a conversation that you started on a Nest Home product and you want to leave the house and continue that conversation on your actual smartphone. You will have to hang up the call and then restart the call on your phone. You can't hand off mid-conversation. So that's how you set up typical mobile calling. It works really well. It's really nice when you're just kind of doing stuff around the house and you need to call someone. It's kind of nice. You don't have to have your phone right on you. If you want to set up video and voice apps, basically the only option here is to set up your Duo account, and you can go ahead and do that here if you didn't already do so when setting up the device. With Duo, you can make voice calls kind of the same way the normal phone calling would work, But if you have a Nest Hub or a Nest Hub Max that has a screen, you can do video chatting through Google Duo. And Google Duo works on Android or on iPhone. So if you have iPhone friends, they can download this and use it. It's basically like FaceTime. Do keep in mind, if you just have the smaller Nest Hub, that doesn't have a camera on it. So if someone does video call you from a device that does have a camera, you will see their image pop up on the screen, but they will not be able to see you because there's not a camera on that device. If you have the Nest Hub Max, that's the bigger Nest speaker that has a camera in it, then you can use Google Duo, and it will use that camera to send your video to the other person. So just keep that in mind. But that's how you go and set up phone calling or video calling on the Nest Home products. Hopefully that helps.